The first thing, of course, for me was, that it's almost like a forbidden thing that I'm doing, and it's just it's very special for me to be able to go into the depot, to enter this world that's really hidden from public. My God, and look at this one. What's happening here? I'm Grace Schwindt, I'm an artist. I work with performance, sculpture, painting, films and drawing. I've been making art since I can remember, really. So I've always done art since I'm a child. I was lucky to have a lot of art materials around because my mother and my grandmother were or are both artists. Do you think the three are good together in the back? Or should we swap any sculptures? Oh, I tried something, if I look. I tried to put the kiss here. Mm-hmm. Because I thought these are kind of maybe a nicer relationship than these.
Ik heb haar voor het eerst ontmoet in 2012, toen zij een residentie had in Brussel. En ik over haar werk wat beelden gezien had, gehoord had en wel benieuwd was om haar werk te leren kennen. En hier in het museum brengen we ook een performance festival elk jaar in november. En toen in 2012 zijn we in gesprek gegaan, zodat ze in 2013 hier in Emmen eerste keer iets zou tonen.
But maybe it's quite nice with a window like that, huh?
Ik herinner mij, dat moet rond 2017 geweest zijn. Collega's hier hadden een soort hele lange sokkel gemaakt, dat Grace een catwalk noemde, van allemaal Christusfiguren die op een rij stonden. En dan zei ze, ik wil die beelden nog eens zien. Ik zei, ja, die zijn er niet meer, die zijn terug naar het depot. We hebben nu een nieuwe collectieopstelling. En omdat dat voor haar zo'n een diepgaande interesse leek, is dat idee ontstaan van, we gaan haar echt eens tijd geven om dat te laten uitzoeken.
So the first time Benedict showed me around, we were able to just look at the actual sculpture that I then later selected to really go into and focus on. It's a stone sculpture, Jesus Christ sitting on a stone, waiting to be crucified. That arrived here at the museum in 13 pieces, and that a group of restaurers restored to make it into 4 pieces. So these 4 pieces cannot be brought closer together because there's too many parts missing. I immediately fell in love with it because it has everything I want to explore. My interest in sculptures, in historical sculptures, is this idea of how we learn how to look at our bodies. That's why I'm interested in broken sculptures, also broken historical sculptures, because I'm interested in, can this breakage become part of the representation rather than a broken representation? Should I help you, or? No. This one is a light.
So yeah, here you can see really nice the kunas.
I want to make drawings based on these shapes, and because these are also from, the line is from the breakage, is formed through the actual material of the stone, right?
Yeah.
How stone breaks and so. Yeah, I really love the shape because it's very different to when I draw.
Yeah.
And can I touch them?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You want to turn them? Or?
Yeah. Can I?
Yeah.
What was fascinating for me is to see Benedict work in the depot because, how she touches and handles the objects, the sculptures, it became part of her intuition, I think, because she immediately sees how sculpture can be touched. So my way of finding a different way of understanding rather than studying something from a distance, is also to really spend time with it, like physical time with them. So I took a lot of photos. And then at the same time, in the same period, I was also there just making drawings of details. With the drawings, I really focused on the lacunas and the breakages. And when, you can see a lot of actually beautiful shapes that occur in these breakages, and that I imagined as the starting point of a new story, let's say. And then I used the photographs to actually make larger paintings. There's all these processes of making representation. So it's like a painting of a drawing, of a photograph, of a sculpture that was representing, this idea of Jesus Christ on a cold stone, waiting to be crucified. Okay. Oh, okay. There's a 3D print. So, which is 3D print of the original stone sculpture. So now I have to decide which way around I'm going to put it. The idea was to use ceramic to create these holders for these 4 elements from the stone sculpture. So this is my sketch, and to focus on this idea of care, to hold them, to kind of care for them, but also to be able to expose them in a way that suggests this idea of care.
Möchtest du ausschneiden?
Yeah. Jetzt ist es so.
Und es schrumpft ja noch. Also.
Es schrumpft noch, aber das ist ja größer, das Bein auch. In a way, my initial idea of this sculpture was to create a structure to show this sculpture that cannot be shown anymore because it's too broken, to actually show it again in the museum space. And, not necessarily only to be able to show it again, but to ask these questions, also about how we learned how to look at bodies, and how we learned to read bodies and value bodies, and also have these ideas of beauty. So I would like to use this to also think about these questions. Oh, little one, should we get your bed here so you're closer to me? Yeah, she's my most important assistant. Care is a really also important notion in all of my work, because I speak a lot about violence in my work, like violence that happened in history or historical trauma and so on. But for me, in order to be able to speak about these horrific things that happen actually in the present also, is to insist on the importance of care and the possibility of care as an actual act to make a society function as well. Not as a kind of extra gesture that you could do, but actually as an essential process that make a society function also, that make it possible to live. So this idea of care is a very different gesture to historical trauma. It's a way to create closeness also, which is, I think that's probably the most important aspect in my practice. So I need to prevent it from collapsing. This one you thought is maybe empty.
Yeah.
And then don't have to be both on an edge, no?
But you don't want the two legs here, maybe.
Oh, that's true. Wait, could the leg be there? I think this doesn't feel bad.
Mm-hmm. Ik denk niet dat we het soort plek zijn dat van de ene tentoonstelling naar de andere enkel stapt. Dat we wel trajecten willen aangaan met kunstenaars, ook kunstenaars willen laten soms terugkomen of hun helpen op andere vlakken die voor hun praktijk verrijkend kan zijn. Die zorg voor die kunstenaars opnemen, die niet alleen is, hier is de sleutel van een tentoonstellingszaal, we vieren de opening en we sturen alles terug op het einde. Dat je denk ik op veel meer vlakken een verschil kan maken dan enkel een toonmoment te geven. Ik denk dat door die lange termijn samenwerkingen, dat we daar wel uniek in zijn.
And you have like a huge landscape and you're really far away from it. Oh my God, it fits! And it fits really nicely, actually. Huh? I hope that people can feel a moment of intimacy, intimacy with the history or intimacy with these different objects and intimacy with different gestures and closeness. That's my hope, that people feel closeness.